What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 biggest smoke demons in the UFC. Now, when I say smoke demons, you don't have to be a winner necessarily. You don't have to be a champ, double champ, anything like that. You don't even have to have touched a belt or been in a title fight in your life. You just have to be someone that never turns down a fucking fight, bro. You have to run anybody's fade, anytime, any division, does not matter. Like I said, you don't need to be a champ. You should be a bad motherfucker. This is honestly my list of like the biggest BMFs in the UFC at the moment. Without dragging things on, let's get into it. Honorable mention Dan Hooker. Hear me out. Hear me out. Like I said, you don't have to be a champion or anything like that, but this guy, he will fight anybody, all right? Fights Arman Sarukian, #1 contender of the lightweight division, loses, fights BSD with a broken nose, mind you, right? 3 months later, and then after that fight, calls out Paddy Pimblett, right? The guy who just fought for the interim belt. Say what you want about Dan Hooker, he does not duck anybody, bro. He fights anybody, anytime, any place. Some wins under his belt: beat Jim Miller, the unk of the UFC, beat Gilbert Burns when Gilbert was still, I don't say he was in his prime, but definitely better than he was in his most recent fight against Mike Malott, right? Beat Gamrot, split decision, but still win over Gamrot is pretty impressive. Beat Ali Quinta, who, for those of you who don't know, that's who Khabib fought for the interim lightweight belt, right? Fought Islammakhachev, 2 division champion, pound for pound #1. Fought Yair Rodriguez, Dustin Poirier, both interim champs, right? Dustin in lightweight, Yair in featherweight, and fought Michael Chandler, who was a Bellator champion, and fought Oliveira for the belt. So those last few names I named, he did lose to them. However, he did fight them. Win, lose, or draw. He's someone that will show up to the octagon and he will fight you. He does not give a fuck the conditions. His nose can be broken like it was against BSD. You know, it can be 3 months after fighting the #1 contender. Whatever. Dan Hooker will fight anybody. Coming in at #5, I have Kevin Holland. Now, Holland, I think, is super underrated. I mean, this guy's fought 28 times since 2018, right? We're only 4 months, roughly 5 months into the year of 2026, and this guy has fought 28 times since 2018. 3.5 times a year per average, right? Or on average. This guy, some years he's fought 4 or 5, fights in a year. I mean, that's actually insane. This guy has fought 15 at middleweight, 13 at welterweight, and it wasn't just like, he started at middleweight and then dropped to welter, started at welter, moved up to middleweight. Like Kevin Holland, most of his fights at the beginning were at middleweight. From there, he's gone down to welterweight mostly. However, he has gone back and forth at times. Fought Khamzatchimaev on short notice. I mean, granted he lost, but this was a Khamzatchimaev that was running through the welterweight division. I mean, fought 2 times in 10 days. Hamzat that beat former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, beat Gilbert Burns. Granted, those were pretty competitive fights. I mean, Hamzat is he's a dominant fighter in the UFC, right? We saw how he did Robert Whittaker. Saw how he did DDP. Kevin Holland, obviously this was before that, but he saw the threat that Hamzat was, fought him on short notice, right? And this was a Hamzat that missed weight too, so did not give a fuck. Speaking of not caring about weight classes, was down to fight Rampage Jackson on his own podcast. You remember the 45-70 memes. I mean, Kevin Holland, yes, he would have lost that fight, obviously. Didn't even need to say that, to be honest with you. But he is someone that will fight no matter what. Absolute fucking dog. Fights in, welterweight, middleweight, fights catchweight, fights champions, fights prospects, fights anybody that they'll give him, right? Does not care. Wins over Anthony Hernandez and Joaquin Buckley. Those are decent wins that have aged pretty well, in my opinion. Both of those guys lost their most recent fights. However, Joaquin lost to one of the best welterweight champions of all time, Kamaru Usman. And then Anthony Hernandez lost to Sean Strickland, who was a champion and is now getting a title shot, so not bad. Also has wins over Chiesa and Nelson. Coming in at #4, I've got Merab Dvalishvili. Merab, another guy who does not give a fuck about. He will fight anytime, any place, does not care who he's fighting. I mean, 3 successful title defenses last year. Went for a 4th one against Peter Yan, who is the current bantamweight champion. Was the former bantamweight champion at the time. He has wins over 4 champs, right? He has a unanimous decision win over O'Malley, 2 48-47s and 1 49-46, I believe. Submitted O'Malley at 316, so he beat him at 298 by unanimous decision. Submission win at 316, I believe, off the top of my head. In January of last year at 311, fought Umar, right? AKA fighter, Khabib's cousin, top prospect. Everyone thought he was gonna take the belt. Fought him, no fear in his heart, right? Won that fight. Goes on to submit O'Malley, beats him for a second time, right? O'Malley's a former champion with a title defense. Unanimous decision win over Cejudo, who is a two-division champion. Unanimous decision win over Aldo, who held the featherweight belt for a long time. Recently was down to compete against who was it? Henry Cejudo actually in RAF. I was gonna say Uriah Faber, but that was Harmon. With a broken nose, mind you. I mean, Merab is an absolute dog. Like I said, he's got wins over 4 undisputed champions, right? O'Malley, 2 wins over him. Jan, Cejudo, Aldo. Fought 4 times in a calendar year. 3 of those successful title defenses. Merab's a fucking beast, man. He is a bad motherfucker. Now coming at number 3, I've got Conor McGregor. At the very beginning of the video, I said I wanted to do, current fighters. Technically, he's not a current fighter, even though I do think there is a high chance that he will fight this year. Earlier this year, he was the most tested athlete in the world at one point. I do think he will fight at International Fight Week. If not, then hey, joke's on me and everyone else who believes it. That being said, Conor is a bad motherfucker. He was, and depending on who you ask, he may still be the face of the UFC. First ever double champ, right? Featherweight and lightweight. He's fought in 3 different weight classes and has wins in all of them. Obviously, a double champ in light and feather, so wins in those classes. And then he does have a win over Nate Diaz, as well as a loss. But he has a win over Nate Diaz and a win over Cowboy Cerrone at welterweight. So wins in 3 weight classes. He has fought 5 undisputed UFC champions, those being Khabib, Holloway, Aldo, Eddie Alvarez, and I believe Chad Mendez off the top of my head. Beat 3 of them, obviously lost to Khabib. Finished one over Dustin Poirier, former interim lightweight champion. He does have 2 losses to Poirier, one being a doctor stoppage due to the broken ankle or leg, like the tibia, fibula, I don't remember. Does have a finished win over Dustin Poirier. Does have the has a win over Max Holloway, not a finish win. Max Holloway, former featherweight champion. So beat Aldo in 7 seconds to win the featherweight belt. McGregor, he does not care who you are, bro. I mean, whether you're a featherweight, lightweight, or welterweight, he will fight you. Coming out of retirement, in my opinion, he might not. We'll see. Fought Nate Diaz in welterweight. Did not care. Granted, he lost. Then went right back and beat him. Fought him again. Won. I mean, Conor's he's fearless. He's the face of the UFC for a reason, man. Number 2, I originally had Dustin at 3, and then I thought about it. I had to switch it. McGregor, he has more wins. I'd say he has more of an accomplished record. However, Dustin's a bad motherfucker. I mean, he is. Just look at this, list of accolades I put together. Former interim champion, right? 2 wins over Max Holloway. Max Holloway being a former featherweight champion and the former BMF champion, right? Took the belt from Gaethje, who was a 2-time interim lightweight champion. 2 wins over McGregor, who's a double champ. Both of them being finish wins. One was doctor stoppage. However, it was still 2 finish wins over McGregor. Beats Gaethje, finish win over Gaethje. 2-time interim champ. Submission win over Chandler, Bellator champion, and beat champs Eddie Alvarez and Anthony Pettis, right? Fights Khabib, Islam, and Oliveira, all undisputed champions, all top 5 lightweight fighters of all time. No matter who you ask, I don't care. Islam, Khabib, and Oliveira need to be in your top 5 lightweight fighters of all time. Made it to round 3 or later with all of them. Got submitted by Khabib and Oliveira in round 3, but went to round 5 with Islammakhachev, who's the pound-for-pound number 1. And this one blew my mind. Poirier has not lost to a non-champion since 2016. Now, obviously, he's retired now, retired last year, I believe it was July at 318. But since, what was it, 2025? So in 9 years, this guy did not lose to a single fighter who did not hold a belt, right? Lost to Holloway, former featherweight and BMF champ. Islam, Khabib, Oliveira, all undisputed lightweight champs. And then Conor McGregor, I believe that was his last loss in 2016, right? Double champ. So Poirier has not lost to a single person who did not touch a belt in 9 years, dude. Absolute badass. Will fight anybody, anytime. You know, fought in 2 divisions, has fought plenty of champions. He's got 2 wins over a former champ. He has 2 wins over a double champ, win over an interim champ, 2-time interim champion, win over the former Bellator champ, and then wins over 2 more undisputed champions. Dustin Poirier, absolute dog. And then finally, number 1, there was never any doubt, and the reason I made the video in the first place, Alexander Volkanovski, former pound for pound number 1, moved up to fight Islammakhachev, right, at lightweight, got beat, went back, beat Yair Rodriguez in featherweight, defended his belt, went back up, fought Islam again, took the L, all right, no problem. Islam's number 1 pound for pound in the world, no shame in that, right? 3 months later, takes on iliatopuria. 3 months after fighting Islam, bro. Islam and Ilya, he lost to them, all right. Those are his only losses in the UFC, Islam and Ilya. The pound for pound numbers 1 and 2 respectively, right? Or Islam then Ilya, hopefully I said that right. Islam, 1 and 2 respectively. Both 2 division champions. Fought Islam on short notice. He fought him twice, right? Fought him once on short notice. Fought Ilya 3 months after fighting Islam. Beat Max Holloway 3 times, the former featherweight champion and former BMF champion. Beat him 3 times, once by split decision, twice by unanimous decision. Beat Jose Aldo and Chad Mendez. Willing to fight Arman, willing to fight Evloev. Evloev is undefeated. He's on a what? I don't even know what his win streak is off the top of my head. I know he's like 17-0 right now. Arman, number 1 contender in lightweight. Volkanovski ducks no man, bro. Volk will fight anybody, any weight class. He is the baddest motherfucker in the UFC, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment who you think, didn't make the list but should make it. Let me know if you agree with the placement. Let me know if you think you would move any of these around, add any, remove any. Let me know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.